Krishna, Haribol. My Dandavat pranams to everybody. Hare Krishna. I'm very happy to be back doing these live stream classes. So this subject matter is nectar, tonic. So today, Happy New Year to everybody. It's the 1st of January, Wednesday, 2025. Okay, 2025, we're on. So, yes, we'll have a little kirtan, and then we'll begin this Raya Ramananda Samvada, which is the heart of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we'll just have a small kirtan, and then we'll get into it. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayaniti Namine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Acharya Singha Rupine Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyana Keshaviti Namine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jaya Radha, Madana Mohan Radha, Madana Mohan Radhe. Jaya Radha, Madana Mohan Radha, Madana Mohan Radhe. Jaya Vrishabhanu Nandini Radhe Radhe. Vrishabhanu Nandini Radhe Radhe. Jaya Vrishabhanu Nandini Radhe Radhe. Vrishabhanu Nandini Radhe Radhe. Jaya Sachi Nandan Jaya Gaura Hari. Sachi Nandan Jaya Gaura Hari. Jaya Sachi Nandan Jaya Gaura Hari. Sachi Nandan Jaya Gaura Hari. Oh, Nitai Hey, 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 Gaura Hey, Gaura Hey, Gaura Hey, Gaura Hey, Jaya Gaura Hey, Gaura Hey, Gaura Hey, Gaura Hey. Oh, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Shishi Guru Garanga Ganhabaka Giridhari. Radha Madan Mohan Ju ki Jai. Nityananda Rai ki Jai. Satchinandana Gaura Hari ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tadasara Shishimat Shila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tadasara Shishimat Shila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tadasara Shishimat Shila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Jagat Guru Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tadasara Shishimat Shila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Shila Gokishore Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Shila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai. Arupa Nuga Guru Varga ki Jai. Ananta Kota Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Go Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Om Aginati Mirandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Guruve Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarabhaktaya Namo Namaha. Priya Surupe, Daita Surupe, Prema Surupe, Sahajava Rupe, Nijana Rupe, Prabhueka Rupe, Tatana Rupe, Swabila Surupe, Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam, Stapitam Jena Bhutale, Swayam Rupa Katamayam, Tadati Shwapadantikam. Anapita chirim chirat kurunavartinokalo samarpaitam unnata ujvala rasam svabhakti shriyam yam pravajantam anapetyam apeti krityam dvaipaino viraha katara ajuhava putre titam mayatayo taravo vinirustam sarvaputam pridim mudimanatoshmi bhaktiya vihina aparar lakshay shiptascha karmadi tarangamadye kripa mayitvam sharanam prapana brinde namaste charanarvindam Bhajami radham aravindanetram smarami radham madhudashmitasyam vadami radham karuna bharatram tato mamanasti katina chavi tavaivasmi najivami tvaivina iti vignaya rate tvam nayamam charanantikam. I'm first of all offering millions and millions of Dandava pranams to my beloved Gurudev. Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Asto Tadasara Shishimat Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And the same again to our dear most beloved Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Asto Tadasara Shishimat Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And all our Rupanuga Guru Varga, my Dandava pranams to all of you. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhubevacha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnave namo namaha. So today I'm sitting in Bangalore at my dear friend Bilva Mangala Thakur's house and with his family and so on. And this is the location where I am. So, okay, so from here we'll just start our appreciation of this Ramananda Rai Samvada. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he has commented a number of times, and I've also mentioned it a number of times, that if all the granthas in the world were thrown into the ocean or became non-existent, if they were still existing, this Chaitanya Charitamrita, then nothing would be lost. Everything is there in Chaitanya Charitamrita from start to finish. So, and the heartbeat of this Chaitanya Charitamrita is this Madhya Lila chapter 8, this Ramananda Rai Samvada. Why? Because Maha Prabhu is engrossed in the identity of being Nimai Pandit in Navadvip. And he's relishing the idea of being like a Pandit, a scholar. And he's relishing the various Siddhantas, etc., that are expounded by his various teachers there. And he would challenge the devotees on the points of Tattva and Siddhanta. But the mood in Navadvip Dham is like the mood of Krishna in Vrindavan. Mahaprabhu's mood is more like Krishna in Vrindavan. Mahaprabhu has the potential to taste this highest condition of Sri Radhika's prem. Shri Radhaya pranaya mahima kidri shobhanaiva swadyena madhurima kidri shobhanaiva sokyam kasyam mad anubhavata kidri shambhati loba tadbhavadya samajani sachigaravo sindhu harindu. He has these, he's manifested with these three desires, but in Navadvip Dham, he has like a sambandha, lokik relationship with the residents there, very friendly and so on. And then when he meets Ishwara Puri, then everything changes in his life. So this is a very wonderful transition. Then he's called Gaurahari after he's met Ishwara Puri, and his whole mood changes, and he is trying to serve all those devotees that he was challenging previously. He wants to carry the laundry of Srivas Thakur, etc. He wants to do all kinds of services for the devotees. So his whole mood is softening. So this is Mahaprabhu in Navadvip. And then we know he hears the criticism of the students there when he's chanting Gopi, Gopi, Gopi. And he realizes, and the students, they become really angry, annoyed with him. And they even plan to hurt him. So Mahaprabhu realizes this, of course, because he's the omnipotent Lord. And he decides, this is not the reason why I've come to make people offensive towards me. So I must go into that renounced order of life where people will show natural respect for me. This will help the people of this age. Mahaprabhu has come for a specific purpose and reason. He's come a remarkable mission, Mahaprabhu. Only once in the whole day of Lord Brahma, once every 8,640,000,000 years, this avatar, this golden avatar manifests to give the highest realization to the conditioned jivas in this darkest age of Kali Yuga. So then Mahaprabhu decides to take sannyas, decides to embrace that ashram. So there's beautiful pastimes when he leaves Mother Sachi and dives into the Ganga on that ice-cold night in the month of Magh, February, and leaves for Katwa, comes out in Katwa, and he meets Keshava Bharati and takes sannyas then. And it's described there are 3 people present with him. There's Nityananda Prabhu, Mukunda Datta, and Chandrasekhar. And some commentaries say that Gadadhar Pandit is there, but they don't all agree on that. So those other commentaries are there, but certainly these 3, Mukunda Datta, Nityananda, and Chandrasekhar. They are. Chandrasekhar is the husband of Sachimata's sister. Sachimata's sister. So this is his relationship in a sort of familial relationship with Mahaprabhu. So then he takes that sannyas ashram, then he wants to immediately go to Vrindavan. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to sketch Mahaprabhu's pastimes until he comes to the Godavari, where we will pick up the conversation with Ramananda Roy. But it's important that we have a full appreciation of the moods and the movements of Mahaprabhu prior to coming to the Godavari. Then we'll get the broader perspective on what's about to transpire. So Mahaprabhu has this potentiality for Radha Bhav, but it hasn't risen yet. It's described that in those nocturnal 24-hour kirtans practically in the house of Srivas Thakur, my Gurudev has described that actually he was tasting Mahabhav, because Navadvip is non-different to Vrindavan. So those same moods have to be present in Navadvip. So we know that for 12 months these kirtans were going on in the house of Srivas Thakur. So this is equivalent to the Ras Lila pastimes in Vrindavan. So Krishna himself, he experiences this Mahabhav, but he doesn't experience the higher tastes that Sri Radhika experiences. In his form as Krishna, he can only come to the limit of Mahabhav, but he's aware of Radhika and some of the gopis. They attain higher stages of Rudha and Adiruddha Mahabhav. So this is why Mahaprabhu has actually come. He's come as the Ashraya, and he wants to taste that speciality only in Radhika and in the gopis, in their mood. All the gopis attain Mahabhav. Some of the gopis, like Lalita, Vishakha, etc., they go to the higher stages also. But Krishna himself, he can't, because he's the Vishaya. And the Vishaya is, he's the object of affection, he's receiving. But the person giving the affection is actually tasting a higher ras. And this is what Krishna wants to taste. So in Navadvip Dham, he didn't reach that pinnacle of devotion, even though he attained the stage of Mahabhav during those Ras Lila pastimes in the house of Srivas Thakur. So then he's at the age of 24, in 1510 is when he takes the sannyas ashram. So he has 24 years in Navadvip and 24 years in the renounced order. It's very interesting. It's exactly 50-50, which is exactly like the meeting and separation, because in Vrindavan, it's 50% meeting and 50% separation. That's the structure of the Vrindavan pastimes. So we see in pastimes like Nishanta Lila, Ratri Lila, and Madhyana Lila, this is meeting. And then in pastimes like Prata Lila, Purvana Lila, Apuvarna Lila, Shyam Lila, Pradosh Lila, they are like in separation, or there are at least elders around. So in Braj itself, there's 24, in the 24 hours, there's 12 hours meeting and 12 hours separation. So Mahaprabhu's life is reflecting that in a sense, because for 24 years he stayed in Navadvip, and in the second 24 years, my Gurudev describes, he practically never has darshan of Krishna in those 24 years. He's full Vipralamba mood, Vipralamba bhav for those 24 years in that sannyas ashram, practically only in the separation mood the whole time. He's in that mood of separation, which is what he came to taste. He came to taste that higher ecstasy of Vipralamba bhav. So practically for the whole of those 24 years, he's experiencing that Vipralamba, especially, of course, in the later pastimes, in the Gambhira. So now Mahaprabhu has taken sannyas in Katwa, and he immediately wants to go to Vrindavan, and he's wandering around in Radhadesh. And Advaita Acharya and Nityananda, they fool him, and they bring him back to Shantipur. And it's very beautifully described. This is all in the beginning of the Madhya Lila. So when we get the rhythm, so to speak, of the Chaitanya Charitamrita context itself, we see in the Anti Lila, Krishna's Kaviraj is laying down such a powerful foundation of Tattva and Siddhanta. Who is Nityananda? Who are the Panchatattva? Who is Advaita Acharya? All these tattvas, etc., are explained very profoundly by Srila Krishna's Kaviraj. But then in the Madhya Lila, then it starts to describe his movements as a sannyasi, because Vrindavan Das Thakur didn't describe so much of those later pastimes. Vrindavan Das Thakur mostly focuses on the pastimes in Bengal, of Mahaprabhu in Bengal. He's never had darshan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Vrindavan Das Thakur. He's the last disciple of Nityananda Prabhu. So he remains mostly in the Navadvip pastime and in this Sambandha Lokyavat, this familial relationships that Mahaprabhu has in Navadvip. So now Mahaprabhu has been brought back by Advaita Acharya and Nityananda, tricked. Mahaprabhu is wandering through Radhadesh, and Nityananda, he's telling all the cowherd boys, if this sadhu asks where you're going, where is Vrindavan, you say this way. And if you say, what is the name of this river, you say it's the Jamuna. So they tricked Mahaprabhu. And then suddenly Advaita Acharya is there with a boat and in the Ganga. And Mahaprabhu is surprised, and he's got an extra set of cloth, etc. But he brings him back and to Shantipur. And in Shantipur, Mahaprabhu meets with all the lamenting devotees. They are all in extreme mood of separation, because now Mahaprabhu's had his beautiful hair shaved, and Mother Sachi comes, and it's an extraordinary mood that is generated in Shantipur at that time, when Mahaprabhu is showing to his Nityasiddha Parikas his form as a sannyasi. They practically can't bear it. But he remains there for 5 or 7 days, and they have so much feasting and kirtan. And finally, Mother Sachi, she requests Gaurahari to go to Puri, because Puri is not so distant, not so far away. If he stays in Puri and performs his bhajan, then Mother Sachi will feel some connection, not so far away.
Actually, it is said that Jagannath Puri and Navadvip, they are like two rooms in a house.
Yes, yes. So, although we know Siddhantically that Navadvip Dham itself is like Madhurya Ras, whereas Jagannath Puri is Aishwarya. It's a mood of Aishwarya. Actually, Jagannath Puri is likened also to Dwarka. It's similar mood to Dwarka. It's an Aishwarya mood there, but still they are like two places, two rooms in the same house, according to the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu, then he leaves for Puri, and he's accompanied by Nityananda, Jagadananda Pandit, Damodar Pandit, and Mukunda Datta. These four people accompany Mahaprabhu, who is in complete ecstasy, completely free now. He's fully embracing this sannyas ashram. But still, this Sakhi Bhav of Sri Radhika hasn't risen in his heart yet. He's still in a mood of, or an identity of Shyam Bhav, of Krishna mood. He still has that mood there. So this is what we're going to examine in our Raya Ramananda Samvada. This Ramananda Samvada is like such a transitional, pivotal point in Mahaprabhu's experience in his 48 years. This Samvada is so important to understand because it crosses over that line where Mahaprabhu, when he has his conversation with Ramananda Rai, Ramananda Rai will impart to him a mood of this Sakhi. Ramananda Rai, of course, is Vishaka. So, born at the same moment as Sri Radhika. So she's immersed, of course, naturally in that Sakhi Bhav, and she gives this experience of Sakhi Bhav to Brajendra Nandan Shyam Sundar, who is Gaura Hari. So that's how he gets the Sakhi Bhav. We can't get these moods without having the person who has these moods. So this is like many teachings are there. So then Mahaprabhu finally comes to Puri, and we know the wonderful pastimes right at the very end. Nityananda, he breaks his danda, and Mahaprabhu becomes irritated with that. He's not happy with that, and he leaves the party. He leaves Jagadananda Pandit, Damodar Pandit, Nityananda and Mukunda. He leaves them behind, and he goes into Jagannath Puri alone. And then we know the pastime. He passes out in ecstasy in front of Lord Jagannath when he sees Lord Jagannath. Of course, he's only seeing Brajendra Nandan Shyam Sundar, so already something is rising in his heart in attraction to Krishna as he being the identity of Mahaprabhu. So then, when he's completely unconscious, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya takes him, picks him up, takes him to his own place, which is very close by. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, at this particular point, is a very important personality in the pastime to appreciate who he was. Mahaprabhu specifically wants to meet Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who is like Brihaspati in the heavenly kingdom for his erudition, etc. But Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya has become complete Mayavad, totally. Like Brihaspati. Brihaspati is considered Brahman realized. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is the same, and he's preaching Mayavad the whole time. So he takes, he's fascinated by the form and effulgence of Mahaprabhu, his beauty, etc., and his youth. And Mahaprabhu is only 24 years old. So he takes him to his place, and then finally the other members of the party, Nityananda, Mukunda Datta, Jagadananda Pandit, Damodar Pandit, they arrive, and they hear that this effulgent sannyasi has been taken to the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, so they go there, and they remain with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya for some time. And there's a very beautiful pastime here, where Mahaprabhu, he purifies all the Mayavad conceptions of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Absolutely remarkable. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya wants to educate Gaura Hari, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the devotees are very unhappy about this, but Mahaprabhu says, no, no, he is my senior devotee, I must listen to him. So for one whole week, Sarvabhauma is instructing Mahaprabhu on Vedanta, the philosophy of Vedanta. Mahaprabhu is very patiently listening to everything. And at the end, Sarvabhauma, he's asking, well, you haven't commented, you haven't said anything in 7 days. I don't know whether you're understanding or you have any questions. And then Mahaprabhu, he opens up completely and said, yes, I've listened to everything you're saying, but what you're presenting is completely fallacious. It's not the truth, what you're presenting. Sarvabhauma, he's shocked. And all his thousands of disciples, they also, this conversation takes place in the courtyard of the Jagannath temple. Sarvabhauma is going regularly to the Jagannath temple, and within the courtyard, this conversation is taking place. And all the pundits who only follow Sarvabhauma, they're shocked when Mahaprabhu starts to contradict. But then Mahaprabhu speaks so lucidly and eloquently, touching the heart of Sarvabhauma, purifying every single objection that he was making as far as Krishna being impersonal. He just took the whole Vedanta and presented it from an impersonal perspective. So, like based on Sankhya philosophy. So Mahaprabhu completely purifies, and at the end Mahaprabhu shows him his Chatubhuj form. Sarvabhauma, he sees that and he understands fully the identity of Mahaprabhu and worships him beautifully. And then after a few months, it's described, Mahaprabhu stays at that time in the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's maternal aunt, who's left the world, and he stays in that. He hasn't come into the Gambhira yet. He stays in that particular house. And then after 3-4 months, it's described, Mahaprabhu requests the devotees to let him go to the south on a preaching tour. And of course the devotees try to stop him, but Mahaprabhu is the independent Lord, and they accept that finally. And then Mahaprabhu leaves Puri through Alalnath, through that place, and starts his tour of South India. So this is after about 4, 5, maybe 6 months into 1510, because he leaves in 1510 from Navadvip. So about 6 months on, he begins his South Indian tour, which lasts for approximately 2 years almost. And he makes the excuse, really, that he wants to go and meet his brother, Vishwarup, who's taken sannyas. And he wants to see his whereabouts, etc. Mahaprabhu already knows that Vishwarup has left this world. He became Sankaranya, that's his sannyas name. But Mahaprabhu is using that as a reason to go to South India. And it's very beautifully described by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj, how Mahaprabhu is wandering in South India, just chanting Hare Krishna, his arms raised, this golden, beautiful, effulgent form, mesmerizing everybody. And it's described that Mahaprabhu makes all of the, practically the whole of South India ultimately into Vaishnavas. Mahaprabhu has the form of Srimati Radharani. All her beauty, all her compassion, all her sweetness, Mahaprabhu has all that within him. And then, because right at the very end, when Mahaprabhu is bidding farewell to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he mentions Raya Ramananda. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya didn't really connect fully with Ramananda Rai because Ramananda Rai was a Vaishnava. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was like a Mayavad Pandit. So they didn't really connect. But nevertheless, now that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya realizes the identity of Mahaprabhu, then he beseeches Mahaprabhu, you please go and find Ramananda Rai. He is the one who understands most about the topics of Braj, etc. and the rasic descriptions of what is the stages in the higher rasas. So then Mahaprabhu gets this information from Sarvabhauma. And then it's described that now Mahaprabhu, he comes and he takes darshan. I think it's of a Sringadev temple, finally the last one. And then he comes to the Godavari. And this is where our pastime catches up, so to speak. This is where we're going to enter into this Leela of Mahaprabhu. So I've tried to sketch Mahaprabhu's movements all the way down from leaving Navadvip, his sannyas in Katwa, Keshava Bharati, coming through all the different places in, on the way to Jagannath Puri, and then his short pastimes in Parat Jagannath Puri with his followers. At this point in Jagannath Puri, when he comes this first time, Swarup Damodar hasn't arrived. So many of his eternal parakas, they haven't arrived yet. They arrive later when he returns. In the chapters where he returns, that's when they all come to meet him. But at this point, he's just with his few associates. But Nityananda is there for sure. Nityananda, who is the embodiment of Balaram, couldn't have had that full identity without the mood or the bhav of Sankaranya Vishwarup merging into the body of Nityananda Prabhu. So that's how Mahaprabhu knows that Sankaranya has left this world, his brother Vishwarup. So then Mahaprabhu comes to the Godavari and he takes his bath as he normally does, and he's with his servant Krishnadas. And while he's sitting on the bank chanting Hare Krishna, then he sees this beautiful procession of Brahmins coming along the road beside the Ganga, chanting wonderful Vedic mantras, etc. In Godavari, yes, they've come to Godavari. He's come to Godavari. And he sees this personality in a palanquin. And it's described by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj, he almost immediately understands this is Ramananda Rai. This is the person that Sarvabhauma has encouraged me to meet. And I want to meet him. And somehow by fortune and providence, I've come to this place and Ramananda Rai is coming at this very moment. And then Ramananda Rai is described, he sees this tremendously effulgent sannyasi and he becomes mesmerized by him immediately and wants to meet him. And he comes to where Mahaprabhu is, and immediately Mahaprabhu embraces Ramananda Rai, and they actually fall on the ground in ecstasy together. And it's described that the Brahmanas who are following Ramananda Rai is the governor. He's the governor of this lower province. It's the furthest away province of Prataparudra's kingdom at that time. It's in Maharashtra, I think, isn't it? Where is the Godavari? Andhra Pradesh. It's in Andhra Pradesh. Yes, it's in a lower place. And this is, so Ramananda Rai is the governor of that province, ruling for Prataparudra, so it's a very important post. So then Ramananda Rai, he meets with Mahaprabhu there, and they have a totally euphoric, ecstatic meeting. And then Mahaprabhu realizes that so many of these Brahmins are watching them. So Mahaprabhu begins to contain his ecstasies. And then they agree to meet that evening. And then we begin our discussion. But there's some beautiful descriptions prior to this that my Gurudev is describing in the beginning of this beautiful book, this Ramananda Rai Samvada, which I want to read now to fully make the picture very broad where we're going. I've tried to pack in the details of Mahaprabhu's traveling and his acceptance of sannyas, etc., to see the sequence of events. Personally, I find it very grounding when I can understand sort of like almost the historical aspects as well as the moods of Mahaprabhu. What is he how are his moods rising, and so on. So on page 11 of this book, right at the beginning in the introduction, I'm going to start reading through here a glorification initially of Srila Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, without our full appreciation of where we are getting this divine confidential information from. We cannot acknowledge our source properly. Where is our anchor, so to speak? Where is it coming from? So my Gurudev begins to describe this Srila Krishna's Kaviraj, who has written this Chaitanya Charitamrita. So I'll read from the second paragraph. Shri Raya Ramananda Samvada, the conversation between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Raya Ramananda, is one of the most shining treasures within the Chaitanya Charitamrita, written by Srila Krishna's Kaviraj. Indeed, it is like the Kaustubha Mani, the most brilliant jewel adorning the neck of Sri Krishna himself. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is a most unprecedented gem-like literature containing the Siddhanta of pure devotion. This is where we're going to come to. This is why it's such a profound topic. It'll carry us right through to the high, even beyond Shuddha Bhakti, to Braja Prem, to what is the Prem of the Gopis, what is the Prem of Radhika. All of this is going to be unpacked in this Samvada. It's tremendously profound body of writing. With regards to this, the most respected Sri Narottam Das Thakur has written the following. My friend Bilbamangala Thakur, where I'm staying, he'll be chanting the Sanskrit or Bengali verses for me. He's very familiar with this, the South Indian part of the world, and he's a very senior devotee, and he chants very nicely. So if you can chant this verse, Bill, this Pratana. This is from the Pratana, Narottam Das Thakur's Pratana.
Krishna Das Kaviraj Rasika Bhakatamaj Jeho Kaila Chaitanya Charita Gaura Govinda Lila Shunite Galaya Shila Tahatena Haila Mora Chitta.
Thank you, Bilda. Thank you. Srila Krishna's Kaviraj is an exceptionally high-class devotional poet. He is also Bhavuka, one who is immersed in experiencing the more elevated expressions of divine love. He has composed the unprecedented sacred texts, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, which describes the pastimes of Sri Gauranga and Sri Govinda Lilamrita, which depicts the pastimes of Sri Govinda. Both of these books, being crown jewels of transcendental literature, are the best of all contributions. So this is going to be our subject for study. So there are many aspects to our devotional path. There is our sadhan, bhajan, but we have to understand, as we've said so many times previously, that unless the sadhan bhajan is focused clearly on bhav bhakti, then our sadhan bhajan or sadhan bhakti is actually useless. It has no footing at all. It's just ritualistic, unless you're understanding the nature of bhav, the nature of bhav bhakti. So we have this beautiful verse. What is it? Agni Shubhada. What's that verse? Klesh Agni Shubhada. And then this is describing what is bhakti, Klesh Agni, when all the kleshas, all the suffering, Agni has been incinerated. And then Shubhada, this creates a great auspiciousness for the practitioner. So this is at the stage of sadhan bhakti. And then we move through to bhav bhakti, moksha lokhuta krit. Srila Rupa Goswami has given us this verse. So this moksha lokhuta krit is very important, because this means I look with complete disregard or disdain on the attainment of moksha or liberation. This is very, very powerful statement. I'm traveling here in South India, and I'm seeing so many of the residents here, they have their clear focus on attaining moksha by following the rules and regulations very carefully. So this moksha is the goal of practically all the ancient rishis and so on. So, but still, it's a stage higher than just doing sadhana. So, moksha lokhotakrit sudurlabha. Even this stage is very, very rare. And then the final stage of prem. Sandra Ananda Visheshatma, Sri Krishna Akashani Chasa. That this Sandra Ananda, this bliss, can only enter the consciousness. That's what Sandra. Sandra means nothing else can come in except Ananda. So this is the final stage of prem. And Sri Krishna Akashani Chasa means this will attract Krishna. So this is the conclusion of prem. So these three clear stages, sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, and prema bhakti. We have to conclusively, absolutely, fully understand these distinctions, and we should consider, where am I at? I am performing sadhana bhakti, but my focus, my desire is on bhava bhakti. That's where I want to go. So we have to consider it. So studying this Ramananda Raya Samvada, we are practically pushed into the arena of bhava bhakti. We're pushed into that place to consider these remarkable truths that ultimately Maha Prabhu has come to give, which is Braja Prem. This is what Maha Prabhu has come to offer to the conditioned jivas of this world, this Braja Prem. So continuing reading on page 12 of this Ramananda Raya Samvada. Srimad Bhagavatam, the king of devotional literature, that we've already established, and the essence of all Vedanta, is considered to be the birthplace of Shuddha Bhakti, pure devotion, and was revealed by Bhagavan. So the Srimad Bhagavatam is the Amala Purana. It's the conclusion of the Vedanta, and was revealed to Bhagavan, Sri Krishna Dvaipayana Vedavyas, during his devotional trance. We remember in chapter 7 of the first canto of the Bhagavatam how Vedavyas has been lamenting. He feels despondent. He's sitting on the bank of the Saraswati River at Samyaprasha Ashram, feeling unhappy, and Narad appears and he encourages Vedavyas, and he imparts from his heart a vision, a trance of Krishna in Vrindavan. He sees these pastimes of Krishna. This gives him the ability, the adhikar, to actually write the 10th canto, because all that we're going to be discussing is going to be hovering around the 10th canto pastimes. Who is Radhika? What is her relationship with Krishna? Who are the Sakhis? What is their relationship? What is their identity? This is where we're going with this Ramananda Raya Samvada. It's so special for us to absorb. Similarly, the two above mentioned books by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami are also acknowledged as the very essence of the Veda, Vedanta, the Puranas, and all historical records. So my Gurudev is writing this now. So we know that Bhagavatam is the Amala Purana, the king of devotional literature. Yet, as I said in the very beginning, that this Chaitanya Charitamrita actually eclipses the Bhagavatam, because Sukadeva Goswami himself, he cannot describe, he cannot even utter the name Radhika. Anaya Radhito Nunam Bhagavan Hare Ishvara. This is the only time he even mentions her name in the whole Bhagavatam. And it's not even mentioned directly, it's just hinted at. So Sukadeva Goswami, of course, was previously Radhika's parrot. So if he speaks on these topics, then he will go into such a high state of ecstasy that he won't be able to complete his narration before Parikshit Maharaj's 7 days expire. So there is a time actually after the Aghasura pastime has been narrated when he does go into ecstasy and into a swoon, because Parikshit Maharaj is asking about, he's anxious and eager to hear more pastimes about Krishna. And Shukadev begins to think about those pastimes and just passes out, and it's described by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur that Narad, Vyasadeva and so many Sutta Goswami, they have very loud kirtan in his ears to revive him and bring him back so that he can continue his narration to Parikshit. So this would be his state. So Bhagavatam is the essence. Everything is there, but it's not as liberal, we can say, as the Chaitanya Charitamrita. It doesn't carry us so, because there's no other avatar in existence like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There's no other personality. There's no other person more munificent, more compassionate. Why? Because he's carrying Sri Radhika's mood. It's Sri Radhika's bhav that Mahaprabhu is carrying and distributing. He's distributing because of Sri Radhika. So it's only through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that we understand something of the nature of who is Radhika. Prior to Mahaprabhu, Radhika was not even practically worshipped. We remember even after Mahaprabhu in Jaipur, Govinda, etc. were not, the king wanted Radhika next to Govinda in Jaipur, and the local pundits, the Ramanujas, etc., the smarta Brahmins, they said, no, where's your Shastra to support that Radhika can stand? Radhika is in this Parakiya mood. So these moods are very secret, very confidential, and they have to be kept under wraps, so to speak. So the Bhagavatam, it keeps it, respects that confidentiality. But in Chaitanya Charitamrita, this is opened a lot more liberally. And it's only in this chapter of the Raya Ramananda Samvada that it's really opened out, fully. So we'll continue reading here. Full of humility, Srila Krishna's Kaviraj writes in his Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita.
He granta lekaya more madana mohan amara likana yena sukera patan sheliki madana gopal yelikaya kashtera putali yena kuhakena chaya.
So this is from the Adi Leela, chapter 8.
Yes.
Sri Madan Mohan is directly writing this book through me. My writing is just like a parrot who repeats what he has learned from another. I am writing what Madan Gopal is himself dictating to me. I am simply a wooden puppet dancing or writing according to his desire.
One small comment, Maharaj. Here it says Srimad Bhagavatam is considered to be the birthplace of Shuddha Bhakti, pure devotion. Similarly, Srivas Angan in Sridham Mayapur is considered to be the birthplace of Sankirtan. That's where the whole Sankirtan pastime started.
Yes.
The nightly kirtans.
Yes.
So that was like,
In the Yoga Pit, yes.
yeah.
So that Sankirtan Ras,
Yes.
that constitutes the Ras Leela pastime in Navadvip Dham. And the Bhagavatam pastimes are local to Vrindavan. The Bhagavatam, the 10th canto, is focusing on Vrindavan pastimes, whereas the parallel is in the Gaura Leela also, so it's there too, in both places. Regarding the creation of that scripture, Srila Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami states therein,
Chaitanya Leela Ratnasar Surupera Bhandar Teho Tuili Raghunatera Kante Taha Kichu Yeshu Nilun Taha Iha Vistarilun Bhaktagane Dilun Ye Bhete.
Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, chapter 2. For 16 years, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami one of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, stayed directly at the lotus feet of Sri Sachinandan Gauranga Mahaprabhu in Sridham Jagannath Puri. That which he witnessed and heard directly by his transcendental eyes and ears, and that which he heard from his close association with Sri Swarup Damodar Goswami, who as an internal association of the Lord is the foundation of this Chaitanya Charitamrita. So my Gurudev is really laying down the praman from where is this amazing revelation manifesting from. It's manifesting ultimately from Raghunath Das, who is speaking to speaking to Srila Krishna's Kaviraj. And Raghunath Das is representing Srila Swarup Damodar. Swarup Damodar, he passes away practically a few months after Mahaprabhu leaves this world. The next Ratha Yatra festival is practically the time when Swarup Damodar leaves this world. And then we know that Raghunath Das, he comes in great lamentation, and he comes to Vrindavan ready to leave his life. He has nothing else to live for. All the eternal parikas have left this world. He wants to throw himself off Govardhan Hill, but he meets Sanatan and Rupa Goswami, and they encourage him, no, this is not what Mahaprabhu, this is not favorable for Mahaprabhu's mission. Now you have to stay here, and you have to write so many scriptures also. So he writes the Vilap Kusumanjali, the, Stavamala, so many pastimes he's writing, Manashiksha. And he lives in Radhakund for approximately more than 40 years. He's staying in Jagannath Puri, it's stated here, for 16 years. And during those 16 years, he's physically witnessing Mahaprabhu's transcendental ecstasies. So he can impart those visions directly into the core of the heart of this purified personality, Srila Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami. Srila Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami came to Radhakund at a very early age, about 18, 19 years old. We have the pastime from his place in Bengal, Jamatpura, where Mini Caitanya Ram was offended and his brother was supporting him, and Srila Krishna's Kaviraj became very angry with his brother publicly, and that night he had a vision of Baladev coming on a beautiful chariot with a palm leaf on his flag and so on. This person who was swaying like he was drunk in a blue costume, and he told him, go to Vrindavan straight away. So this took place when Srila Krishna's Kaviraj was about 18 or 19 years old. It can be very misleading, and I have to say this again, I've said it before, but we have one painting in the English publications, and it looks like Srila Krishna's Kaviraj is an old man. I can post it afterwards, the painting. And when he's witnessing this dream, he's depicted with gray hair and sort of like old features, but he's not. We went to his birthplace, this Jamatpur, and they told us immediately that Krishna's Kaviraj left when he was in his late teens. That's how old he was. So for that amount of time, practically like 90 years old, when he's writing the Chaitanya Charita, he's describing his hands are trembling, his eyesight is less, he doesn't even know how he's managing to write. He's very elderly. So from 20 years old till about 90 years old. So how's that? 70 years practically. He's staying in Radhakund with Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, hearing all of these descriptions of Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri that have come also from the heart of Swarup Damodar. Swarup Damodar Lalita Sakhi in Krishna Lila, the principal personality who was controlling any rasabas that would come in the ears of Mahaprabhu, giving all the conclusive siddhantas. We know in Chaitanya Charitamrita itself, in this verse, Shri Radha Krishna, Shri Radhaya Pranaya, Radha Krishna, No, this Shri Radhaya Pranayama Kidrishoganaiva. No. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritiya Kladini Shakti Asmat Ekatmanava Pipuva. This is the, I think it's the 6th verse. This is written actually by Swarup Damodar. And the next verse is also written by Swarup Damodar. These two verses together, this Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima, both these verses, because these verses are very, the first 6 verses, 7 verses of the Chaitanya Charitamrita are very important. The 4th verse, Anapita Chirin Chirat, this is written by Rupa Goswami. And then the 5th verse is written by Sanatana Goswami. And the 6th verse, not Sanatana Goswami, Swarup Damodar. And then the 7th verse is also written by Swarup Damodar. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritiya Kladini Shakti Asmat Ekatmanav. Yes, this verse, you're right. So Swarup Damodar is the powerful personality to describe all these truths were in his throat, his kadachas. And Raghunath Das is opening all this to Srila Krishna's Kaviraj through such a length of time. So, okay, now we come to this part. Just complete this. Oh, I finished that?
No.
Swarup Damodar Goswami, who is an eternal associate of the Lord, is the foundation for this Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So it's Swarup Damodar, because Swarup Damodar, he's imparted the truths into the heart of Raghunath. And then Raghunath is imparting to Srila Krishna's Kaviraj. Commenting on this section of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes in his Amrita Pravasya, Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami is one of the most intimate associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He has described the final pastimes of Sriman Mahaprabhu in his notebook, or Kadacha, in the form of condensed anecdotes or sutras. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami memorized all those notes. Srila Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami heard those notes directly from him and expanded upon them in composing his Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. In this regard, the author wrote elsewhere,
Swarupa Goshani Kada Chaya Ye Lila Likila Raghunath Dasa Mukhe Ye Sabha Shunila Se Sabha Lila Kahi Sankshepa Kariya Chaitanya Kripate Liki Kshudra Jivahana.
This is from the Until Lila 3. So the Until Lila is the final parts of this book. So I have heard from the mouth of Sri Raghunath Das Goswami all about the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That Swarup Damodar Goswami recorded in his notebook. I have briefly described those pastimes. Whatever I have written is by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, since I am an insignificant living being. So this is our praman. So right from the very beginning, my Gurudev in his introduction is giving this. So we'll stop here today. Our time is over. But I've tried to give a synopsis on Mahaprabhu's movements out of Navadvip. We haven't really gone into discussing his moods significantly in Navadvip, but I've just touched on them. He wasn't tasting this Sakhi Bhav in Navadvip. He was approaching it in a mood of Mahabhav. He fully is imparted that mood of Sakhi Bhav on the Godavari. So see the whole picture. See where we're going and have the broadness to appreciate the entirety and speciality of this remarkable Samvad. So tomorrow we'll read something about Srila Krishna's Kaviraj also, his birth, etc., which are fascinating to hear. And then we'll just complete something of my Gurudev's introduction here. And then tomorrow we'll begin on the first question that Mahaprabhu, he requests Raya Ramananda to ask him, what is the ultimate truth in life? What is the... Because we have a beautiful book here that we're going to use also in search of the ultimate goal of life, Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So this is also, we can relate to both of these books beautifully in our study. Okay, I hope it's been clear what I've been saying. I've said a lot of things, I think, but I've tried to make a picture, make a sort of background to where we're going, so we can be comfortable hearing these truths over the next few weeks. So thank you all very much for your attention. And we'll just conclude with some Hare Krishna mantra, just 3 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Go Premanandi. Panchakalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhavaivacha, Patitanam Pavnebhyo, Vaishnave Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, Hare Bol.